Earlier this year in January, we covered the apex of impossible ports, GTA 3 running on the Sega Dreamcast. This early alpha version was a jaw-dropping moment, showing the full game running off a burned CDR on a stock Dreamcast with just 16 megabytes of RAM. Now, if you thought that was impressive, there's a lot more that we need to talk about on today's episode. In recent weeks, there's been a huge surge of incredible Dreamcast homebrew that have made their way to the platform, and I thought we might round them all up and talk about each one of them one by one in today's episode. The Sega Dreamcast homebrew community is up there with some of the very best around. The system is cheap to buy, and dev tools are free and top quality. And everything that you'll see today has been built with the homebrew Dreamcast SDK known as Callistios.
Hey guys, it's Ken Rosenberg here. Hey, great, hey. Well, I'm gonna drive you guys to the meet, okay? Now, I've talked to the suppliers and they are very keen to start a business relationship. So, if all goes well, we should be doing very nicely for ourselves, which is, good.
GTA Vice City is from the very same team that brought you GTA 3. This is the full version of Vice City running once again on a stock Sega Dreamcast with just 16 megabytes of RAM. This beta version contains many hand-rolled code optimizations that really does make a big difference in performance. But not only this, the team has added additional graphical settings for 2x FSAA as well as 640x480 with a 24-bit frame buffer. This really does make Vice City pop with some extra depth and vividness. Now, the port itself has been in development for just a few short months and obviously leverages much of the same code as GTA 3, but Vice City under the hood is a much more demanding game overall, and a case once again could be made that the Dreamcast simply couldn't handle the game, but here it is running well on a stock console. Now, there's definitely performance issues and the frame rate can vary quite wildly. I personally noticed significant frame rate dips when you're involved in police car chases, for example. The frame rate can drop into the single digits, but the team is confident that more optimizations are possible. Now, of course, just like GTA 3, for the game to fit into the memory space and more importantly fit on a blank CD, some sacrifices had to be made as far as texture sizes that were reduced in half, but they still look quite good thanks to the VQ texture compression that's in place on this Vice City port. Now, I've also been informed that Vice City is fully working and can be completed from start to finish, and the team is working hard to optimize the game as much as they can. And if you own your own copy of Vice City and you want to build your own version of a Dreamcast ISO, instructions will be linked in the description below. It's also possible to run the game via emulation using something like Flycast, but make sure you disable trails in the menus, otherwise you will be seeing graphical issues. Now, the original GTA 3 was also updated from the alpha version that we covered back in January to this latest beta release as well, which has seen many improvements and bug fixes. And right from the jump, you can immediately tell how much smoother this game runs in the beta version as compared to the previous alpha release. And some people may be wondering, will we ever see GTA San Andreas on the Dreamcast to complete the GTA trilogy? Now, that's definitely much more of a challenge for a few reasons. Not only is it much more advanced in its tech over both Vice City and GTA 3, more importantly, its code was never actually reverse engineered, and the port that I've demonstrated running on the PlayStation Vita was actually using a translation layer wrapper to natively read the Android APK of the game on the Vita itself. But one thing I have learnt about these impossible ports is you never write something off. There may be the case one day where it actually appears, but it doesn't seem like there's any hope for San Andreas, at least at this point. But both GTA 3 and now Vice City are both incredible efforts on the Dreamcast, and I can't wait to see what's next from this incredible team. Doom 64 is up next, and boy, what an amazing port this is. Look how smooth this thing is running with no compromises in quality and gameplay. Now, technically this Doom 64 port isn't new, and it's been in development for a few years now, but this port developed by J.N. Martin 84 has seen its latest update on February the 15th, 2025, and it was time for me to take a closer look. Previous versions of Doom 64 on the Dreamcast would often hang during gameplay due to a long-standing cache issue with Callistios, the open-source SDK that the game was ported to. However, according to J.N. Martin, that issue was resolved, and this latest update to Doom 64 is the one that you want to play. The game features enemy projectile and sector movement interpolations and often runs at 60 FPS for the majority of the game, but never below 30 when it gets too busy. Now on the surface that may not sound that impressive, but now consider the coloured lighting, the normal mapping and the correct physics are also implemented in the game. It uses 8-bit per pixel world textures, which reduces VRAM pressure and the frequency of texture flushing. Controllers can also be fully customized, and the port takes advantage of the Dreamcast mouse and keyboard for old-school PC players. And of course, all progress can be saved to VMU. There's even Rumble support, and it includes the custom knee-deep in the dead content with Dreamcast exclusive enhancements. What's impressive is just how good the tech is in this game and just how well it performs. According to J.N. Martin, he says, the entire world and all of the players' weapons have real-time normal mapping, .3 bump mapping with tangent-spaced light detection vectors and 3-dimensional normal texture maps, that's normal mapping, that interacts with my custom dynamic lighting system, which supports up to 16 point sources. Now, .3 bump mapping was considered impossible for the Dreamcast, but here it is, and it looks superb. Doom 64 on the Dreamcast is a comprehensive port of one of the most underrated games. It's a match made in heaven, and of course, if you want to try it out for yourself, and you own an original copy of Doom 64, the instructions to build your own Dreamcast CDI image will be linked in the description below. Now it seems like with the recent release of GTA 3 and Vice City on the Dreamcast, that the Dreamcast community has been just going from strength to strength with so much excitement around new ports and the possibilities of what could come to the system. Just last week we saw another massive announcement hit the Dreamcast homebrew scene with the release of a Wipeout port to the Sega Dreamcast. And for the 4 or 5 people that don't know what Wipeout is, it's an iconic futuristic racer that originally released on the PlayStation 1 and was developed by Psygnosis about 30 years ago now. And here it is running on the Dreamcast, and this port is absolutely incredible. There's been a massive surge of homebrew projects on the Dreamcast in recent times, and nothing now seems to be considered too impossible to port over. Wipeout on the Dreamcast was ported by J&M Martin 84, who also brought us Doom 64 to the Dreamcast as well, so you know that this port is going to be quality. Not only this, the game looks and runs incredibly well, taking advantage of the Dreamcast hardware with a lightning fast 640x480 display running at a frame rate often hitting over 100 frames per second, but always running at 60 FPS or above. Not only this, the port comes with the iconic music tracks, the sound effects. You can also save your high scores and settings to your Dreamcast VMU. Inputs can be remapped if you don't like the defaults. I personally think they are as good as is. And overall, this is an incredible port that is based off the open source implementation of Wipeout that has been released to the public. Now, the last thing to mention here is that this is the first public release of the game, and there are still quite a few things not implemented, including the screen shaking effects when you collide with other racers or hit the wall. The game end animations are still not complete, and there's a lack of reverb for sound effects and music when you enter tunnels in the game. Now, additionally, the developer is looking to optimize the game much further by implementing frustum culling for the scene geometry. Now, right now during the gameplay, everything within the fade out radius is drawn all the time, and I'm told that this next version is currently still in development, and it's even better. New features are being added, including an increase to the draw distance of the game and even more optimizations. Now, this first version is already very impressive, and it's only going to get so much better. Wipeout on the Dreamcast is excellent, and you should definitely check it out for yourself. So there you have it, guys. The Sega Dreamcast homebrew community continues just to impress with some amazing projects and some amazing work. It really is just an absolute treat being able to sit here and just enjoy these amazing releases that just keep coming to this incredible piece of hardware. But we're going to leave it here for today's episode. I'm going to leave various links to everything that you saw in the description below. And as always, if you like this episode, please don't forget to leave me a like, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.